Hello everybody and welcome to the Alienware Awesome Cup 2 4th North American Qualifier. We are pretty far in so far and we have more matches for you, more competitive knots while we wait for 2.10. So, Oz, what do we have for them this time?
Well, as you said before, Nata, we are very far into the Alienware Awesome Cup 2. This is now going to be the 8th qualifier that we have basically casted and gone over. That being said, we're just going to jump straight into the action. We have awesome matches coming up today. First game we're going to see is going to be the round of 64, and that is going to be TrippleWheat versus NitroGlitterin. That being said, match is going to be set to Ribbit 4. The Team TrippleWheat has gotten the first pick. That means they have also banned first, so they are going to ban out Skoldir. As far as NitroGlitterin goes, they're going to ban the Swiggins. First pick obviously going to TrippleWheat after that ban is a Coco pick, followed by the double pick of Genji and Penny coming from NitroGlitterin. The last two remaining picks coming from TrippleWheat, that being a Scoop and that being a Raylan, and the final pick being Clunk coming out on NitroGlitterin. That being said,
oh yes,
it's going to be very crazy, very deadly. A lot of things can happen. That being said, Nata, give us a countdown. Let's get straight into the action.
You got it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Ribbit, good match for Clunk, good match for Raylan. There's some really good matchups here. Very, very good picking for this map, I'd say. It's really, really good, especially like Scoop can do the long hammers, get a lot of damage in there. Clunk can bounce up, do explodes. Ray can do bounce snipes. Genji can do the touchdown cocoons. I'll go into that in a bit, explain that for people who may not know. And you have the mid, of course, where you can set up a nice gank. So right now we just have to see who gets the first kill. It usually is pretty fast here on Ribbit.
Yeah, the first kill is actually one of those crazy things that you're looking for in that midsection. First team to pick up and secure that first kill will basically have control over mid for the entirety of the game, and really securing your dominance in that mid is exactly what you're going to want to do right now. As we can see, that Trog is just going to get into the fray a little bit, and that's what Clunk does. He's going to sponge damage in the beginning, and he's one of those characters that you do have to maintain that constant barrage and assault on, and just make sure that he never really has full health, because a Clunk with full health is almost guaranteed to explode at any given time. So we're actually seeing a nice double snipe coming out right there and almost picking up Sandy and Trog, and both of them are going to be forced to go back right now. An excellent snipe coming out very early on from the Raylan. I believe that's Nebula playing the Raylan. That is going to be Nebula playing the Raylan.
Definitely.
So that is going to be forcing them back into their store to get some health and really just kind of refocus that. At this point, TrippleWheat does have control of mid, but the overwhelming presence of Sandy and Trog can easily take that back with a quick explode and a quick pulse into the midsection. But we see the banner coming out from Pino right there, actually going to land a little poke in on them, and the nice blaze up. That's one of these strategies that we have to discuss. Blazing up the jump head. Now, to tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, well, a good way to get people in your blaze is obviously to force them in there, and what better way than move 1,000 miles an hour upwards? It is a very good poking method. It is not as good for actual damage output, because blaze reapplies and you're not going to really reapply when you just fly up and you can't really force them back in. But to keep that constant poke up, that is so important against Clunk. It is absolutely a viable strat to do.
And we've discussed it week in and week out. You know, you never want to have a Clunk at full HP. That's basically guaranteed explode at any given time. But he does have that sustain, and that is going to be a pickup from Nebula right now, as he does pick up Scruntu with that snipe.
That is like, you know, I'm pretty sure that was a jump snipe. If I did not miss that, but oh man, that's another DOT pickup, by the way. Something we haven't really touched on is how good Coco is against Penny. Like, just because of the slow and also the DOT that actually applies in. So even though you may have, what do you call it, the herring snack badge, you can still really do some damage to Penny, because she's going to be so slow, and her jumps are barely going to do anything, because they compensate a lot of jumps for a little jump height. If you slow that down, she's not going to be able to move anywhere.
And that's one strategy that a lot of top teams actually have to really consider, is using that blaze, using those CC abilities to really kind of take down mobility on those fast characters, that being Penny and the Frog. But as you said before, it's one of those strategies that a lot of these teams don't really put to use. They may focus the wrong characters, or they may look to get the blaze just on anybody in particular. And a nice explode is going to be coming out now as Pino Colada is actually going to get hit by that cocoon right there.
Oh, the hammer is... Oh, that is good stuff. The hammer almost picked him up. That's like, if he had one stage of damage, I think that would have gone through.
And now we're actually going to see both members of NitroGlitterin, that being Screen 2, and Trog being back into the store, getting some HP right now. And they're going to be going back into this top lane right now. And that's going to be the first turret down within 5 minutes on Ribbit in favor of TrippleWheat.
4 even, that's, that is Ribbit. Oh, Sandy getting dangerously low there.
Trog's taking a lot of damage right now, but he's going to actually get that bite off and going to be able to get that health up pretty quickly. He's opted for boots right now, and one thing that Clunks normally do is just go straight from piggyback into boots, but when you're moving at a pace that's kind of designated by the other team, it may or may not be an option to tactically piggyback at this time.
I don't know if you caught that, but Genji just did the coolest cocoon I've ever seen.
I did not, unfortunately. Oh. But I think that NitroGlitterin needs to really just get back into that midsection right now. And we're seeing them kind of dilly-dally around in these bottom sections and not force themselves into mid. And they really need to at this point. So actually we're going to see Nebula and Pino battle it out with Trog. Trog's going to take a snipe right there. And... actually seeing Pino into that bottom section, landing the nice hammer. Is going to be on Screen 2 right now. The ball coming out, and the snipe just narrowly missing. Trog is going to be able to kind of sponge some of that damage as Pino gets back up there. A nice hammer going in and hitting the penny down there, though.
Something that this comp actually relies very heavily on is landing the cocoon for Clunk to get the thing in, the explode and the bite, sorry. And if they can match that up with a buff up from Penny, get the amplify up, that's an instant kill. Like, even without too many damage upgrades. Oh,
I'm seeing the ball just miss on the ball snipe right there, as the entirety of TrippleWheat is kind of in that midsection, as Deities is up there trying to get that cut off. Pino and Nebula battling it out with Trog and Screen 2 down there. A nice snipe coming out, but the explode is narrowly going to miss as he is going to be saved by the Genji cocoon. Sandy's going to have to be playing on the defensive now, as Pino and Nebula are going to be battling it out with Trog. Trog sponging just exactly what he's supposed to do, just narrowly escapes with his life after he takes a snipe.
That was, like, this is one of those situations where the game is just going to get more exciting as soon as damage is being bought. Like, that was very good plays, and the only thing keeping them from the kills was their upgrades. That is, that is how you measure a proper gank. If you could have killed them with more upgrades, then you are going to kill them with more upgrades. Oh. And a nice jump snipe coming out again as Deities picks up Scrun 2 up there. Trog is going to be unable to progress forward as his Genji is now gone. Oh, Deities
but we're seeing Deities getting assaulted by Sandy. Sandy actually on the defensive now as he's going to be forced to get back as Pino Colada looks in to secure the kill but does not pick up any of the kills. Sandy's going to be teleporting back. Pino Colada on Trog right now as he retreats back into that midsection now. Trog needs to be very careful. He's the only member of NitroGlitterin on map, but Sandy is right back there with him actually, and they are going to be able to continue to kind of push into that midsection, but they've gotten themselves into a bad situation right now. That's the entirety of TrippleWheat. Trog may be going down now. Trog is going to go down to Deities with the Cocoa Ball, and we're seeing Sandy land a nice pulse on all of them, but let's see what Sandy can do if he can actually manage to escape, and he is going to be able to as Scrun 2 takes the brunt of the assault right there, lands a nice Genji cocoon, creating that gap, and Deities is going to get picked up by Sandy right there. A nice display, we saw Sandy come back around that corner and be able to really pick it up after retreating into the creep section and picking up some health.
Oh yeah. Actually, something I've noticed about TrippleWheat's comp is that they are all running for damage, burst damage with range. Just look at Coco building for full ball damage, look at Raylan building for full snipe damage. Like, they have their, already have their, oh!
And the nice amped explode is actually going to pick up Nebula as an 825 explode comes out from that amp.
That was beautiful. Clunk fireworks, the best and the most dangerous kind.
The only type of fireworks, really, that we enjoy seeing in knots.
That is, well, Durple sometimes does it, but that's a whole other story. Oh, the cocoon, is that gonna... Oh. See, if they land that cocoon, I mean, things are gonna go down. That is what a cocoon decides, if things are gonna go down or not.
and it seems that NitroGlitterin has actually progressed into their mid, as we were talking about exactly what they needed to do. Trog is going to take an explode right there, but we're seeing the entirety of TrippleWheat kind of rotate around to the top mid section and retake that. Trog is actually going to be on his own right now, as Scrun2 and Sandy are looking to retreat back into that midsection and retake control of it. And Dedes may be caught out right now. Dedes is in a bad spot. Trog just narrowly missing his explode, and Trog is going to be teleporting back at the current moment, as Dedes is going to clear that bottom lane once more and leave Nebula to the top lane. As Sandy and Scrun2 now come into that bottom lane, a narrowly missed snipe by Nebula, but that ball doing a lot of damage, and we're seeing Dedes get right into there, the snare into the rip. Scrun2's taking a lot of damage right now, but here comes Trog. He may be able to hit the explode, narrowly missing it. Nebula gets a nice snipe off. Pino Colada looking for the body block right now, as Scrun2 comes back and is able to save Trog, but the ball is going to get behind the turret and pick up Scrun2. A nicely placed ball. Sandy's looking for the pickup on Pino Colada right now, but Dedes is right there to land that blaze and thwart him off a little bit. Dedes is now looking for that health. He does get that health, manages to get a little bit of blaze damage off, and forces Sandy back and allows Dedes to escape. Nice coverage by TrippleWheat on that one.
Oh man, that is just, you know, the danger of the Coco Ball. You're never safe, even though you're behind the turret, and like, I love the aggression coming out of Dedes. He's just playing so aggressively. He's at the places where Coco needs to be, ready for the brawl, and actually maybe a kind of overextending right now. Dedes just caught in a cocoon here.
You see a little bit of an engagement right now. Trog just missing that bite, but that Genji blessing. It's a huge hit of 670 coming out. Trog is going to be forced to look for some more HP right now, but this is a very strong comp. And the hammer is actually going to narrowly hit, and Sandy is going to be looking for some health right now, as he is going to be brought down to a little bit less than a quarter. And Trog looking for the explode, but the knockback on the ball. Sandy's going to be looking for the escape. DOT maybe picking him up, but no, he stands in the middle. Thought that he was going to die, but just
Herring snack badge. Herring snack badge. That is, you know, even though it was nerfed, it's still good. I mean, look at that. It just saved the life. Sandy would have died, but the badge was there and ready. Scoop and Dedes kind of... Oh man, Pino Colada.
And Dedes in a really bad spot right now, but Trog just missing his explode is actually going to secure the kill. Sandy picks up Dedes. Nebula picks up Trog. Pino Colada's looking for the escape right now, and he does manage to get out. Scrun2 is going to be battling out with Nebula in the midsection with Sandy, but that was a decent exchange right there. Unfortunately, Trog did miss his explode, which would have secured 2 kills, but that was all due to the snare on Pino Colada's hammer, and allowed the explode to just miss, preventing a lot of damage being dealt on everybody.
Oh, that is good. We actually, TrippleWheat has the pressure up so high. It's really, really nice to see, because they, you know, they have an aggressive comp. I mean, they are built to do quick damage, and they're actually using it. This comp would not have worked, or this build-up would not have worked if they had not, you know, pushed forward and had just waited. This is a comp that actually requires you to go in, you know, be in the fray, brawl up, and get the burst in. Oh man, Pino Colada.
A lot of damage, but the explode from Trog is just narrowly going to miss as the pulse comes out from Sandy, hitting Nebula, and we now see Dedes, Pino, and Nebula in that bottom section, as Sandy is battling it out. Scrun2 and Trog have kind of left him alone for a little bit. Pino Colada is actually going to be alone here until Dedes can come into that bottom lane. The explode is actually going to hit on Pino Colada. Nice burst to 750 coming out, as Dedes is going to be hunting down Sandy right now.
Oh man. Ooh. Sandy once again. Doing, like, I think what the NitroGlitterin needs doing is, you know, try to be more consistent with where they want to, you know, take their fights. Oh my god.
A really bad situation right now as Trog's going to land the explode. Scrun2 is actually very low, though. He's going to be forced to get back, and Dedes with the coverage again, saving Pino in that bottom lane right there from Trog and Sandy. You know, we've spoken about this before, but the coverage that they have on each other is very strong. The presence that Dedes has right now, as you said, the pressure being kept up. But then again, we have to take a look at NitroGlitterin, and we see the potential coming out on this Genji, Plunk, and Penny comp. It's very powerful. If they land a cocoon, somebody's going to be going down.
Yeah, like Trog. Right now, with the ball behind the turret. That's hurt.
Actually the second kill that Dedes picked up behind the turret with that ball in that bottom lane.
Yeah. That was you know, pretty much a you know, textbook chase right there. Whole team is in, you have an escape route ready, and you let the strongest, you know, the most appropriate and the strongest burst take out the kill. That's just, you know, good stuff. So right now what I want to see NitroGlitterin doing is, you know, get the Genji to, get some upgrades for the Cocoon, get some AA damage, poke them down, and allow Clunk and Penny to do their immense damage, because they have a lot of it. They have so much potential damage. And they just gotta apply that using Cocoon.
Yep, that's all just going to be dependent on where that Cocoon hits. As we said before, the second that they get a kill, or excuse me, a Cocoon landed, it's basically game over for any member of TrippleWheat that's caught in there. And Scrun2 is going to be hunted down by deities right now, but the Explode is going to come out and allow that lane and that coverage, and that's going to be a counter-attack and a kill on Pina Colada as Trog has picked up the kill on that. But we're now seeing this kind of battle going on, and the jump snipe coming up from Nebula is going to be able to pick up Sandy right there, and Trog is going to be a little bit out of position right now, but nobody's going to actually jump on that, as I don't believe Coco or Raylan can take out Trog in a 1v1 situation. The Explode coming out again, just missing. Trog needs to time these Explodes a little bit better, because he's going to get caught out the second that he misses an Explode. And as we saw there, it did happen. Nebula actually getting another snipe on Scrun2 into that bottom lane right now.
That range. That's a... Oh! Didi's going strong here on Trog.
And Didi's just seems to be leading the assault right now, as he's always the first person to engage, and he can kind of get away with that with the knockback that he has on the ball, as well as Silver Coating. We see it right there. It takes a huge chunk out of anybody it hits. It's basically half health on Penny, half health on Genji, and a quarter health on Clunk. And Didi's is actually going to be caught in a really bad situation, forced into the turret by the Explode right now from Trog, and that is going to be another pickup for NitroGlitterin.
Oh man, they really need to kill, like I feel like they really need to sort of get their assaults together, because they have a comp that requires all 3 members, which is good in some sense, but it does limit them somewhat, because they can't really do as much one-on-one brawling.
And this timed Explode is actually going to allow Pina Colada to escape. It is a very coordinated comp, as you said before, and that just requires all members of NitroGlitterin to kind of be on the ball and time out that Cocoon to be able to hit all of their abilities once the Cocoon ends.
So what I really want to see them is like get some more individual upgrades, actually. Build for their own sake.
Sandy running right now and get that nice double pulse going. Trog actually just missing his Explode again, as he's going to be battling it out with Didi's right now into that bottom lane, as Nebula lands a nice back-off snipe coming out and hitting Scrun2, and he's going to be forced to teleport back a little bit, as we see Pina Colada just constantly getting into the fray with Sandy up there, and it seems that all 3 members of TrippleWheat are going to be battling now with Sandy. Sandy realizes this, a very smart move coming out. Trog should be lining up his Explode right now, but the hammer is going to ward him off. The nice Cocoon coming out is going to not allow Raylan to hit the snipe. And a huge team fight going on right now, as we see Pina Colada taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane. Deity's going to be taking a lot of damage. Trog taking a lot of damage. Nice. Nebula picking the Explode up. Excuse me, Nebula getting the snipe on Sandy. And Trog getting that Explode kill on Pina Colada. It's going to be a 1-for-1 in a seemingly bad situation for NitroGlitterin, as they make the best out of a bad situation, as we saw, and really counterattack in a way that they're going to be able to pick up a kill. But unfortunately, they do sacrifice Penny in the process.
Well, yes, I saw something that was kind of unsettling to me, that when that whole fight began, Penny would go in without charges, and that is something you really want to be careful with when doing. Oh my god, Trog is getting really low.
Trog needs to be very careful. Scrun2 actually, with the getting out of the hood upgrade, allowing him to move a lot faster. Now the Clunk can actually start engagements with the Explode, as opposed to looking for the kill secures with it. So now we're seeing the 420 no-scope bite coming out on Clunk, one of my favorite upgrades in the game.
Please name change.
The Suckinator 4000 or 2000. Let me hover over that.
9,000.
9,000. It's not over 9,000. It's just at the 9,000 mark.
Oh man, if I could just direct your attention to Scoop for 1 second.
Yep, no, a huge fight's going on right now, and actually that is going to be an error on Pina Colada's part there, being very aggressive, looking for NitroGlitterin Solar Boss, and he's going to get picked up in the process by the entirety of NitroGlitterin. Really kudos to them in realizing that and being able to kind of counteract what Pina Colada was hoping to do. Picking up the extra 20 solar, he just forfeited 30, and Didi's taking a huge Explode from Trog right there. And now we're going to see Nebula being caught a little bit out of position right now by Sandy and Trog, but Sandy and Trog are going to allow Nebula to walk away and kind of regroup. But that was a very nice Explode before coming out on Trog, and he's looking for the Explode again, but you always have to be aware of where your opponents are. If they're next to a bouncer, they're going to take that up. So that was a little bit of a wasted explode on Trog's part, but we saw what he was looking to do, and he tried to land a double explode. Unfortunately, did not hit it.
Oh, and the fireworks coming up.
And the fireworks are going to hit as Nebula's going to get picked up by Trog right now, but Trog is also going to get picked up in turn, and Dedes is going to be taking a lot of damage trying to deal it out to Sandy right there. Sandy kind of playing this more defensive Penny now in efforts to save Scrun 2, and he is. The ball just narrowly missing, though, and that could have been a kill if it did hit. And at this point, we're actually about a minute and 10 seconds away from the late stages of the game. This is a very interesting scoop build that we're seeing. We're seeing an AA scoop.
Oh yeah, I was gonna comment on that, but I didn't really know when because he's been, you know, focusing so much on place with a hammer. I feel like that's actually what's getting the kills. You know, the snare, and then the combined bowl and snipe. It's Sandy up there.
Sandy is actually going to get caught out right now. Dedes is looking for the kill on that, but Trog coming in with a nice explode. A nice explode is going to pick up Dedes, Pino Colada picking up Sandy, and Trog picking up Pino in the long run. That is going to be a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of NitroGlitterin. They really need to be focusing one of these turrets at this point in the game.
They gotta focus up. They still can't afford to split push. They're just too far behind in terms of upgrades, I'd say, to actually do that. Clunk actually putting out multi-hose, which I find interesting, going for like a full team damage and more heal, so he wants to, you know, just jump straight into it, I suppose. That is, multi-hose gives you another bite, quote-unquote. You can bite 2 targets, you get twice the lifesteal of your current damage. So,
as we see Scrun 2 down here into this mid lane, a nice cocoon coming out. Trog is unfortunately not there, but Penny is going to be there. Sandy's going to be there. Pino Colada looking for this kill. Trog is taking a lot of damage. Trog is going to just get the explode off. It's going to be able to hit Dedes as Sandy is now going to be running from Pino Colada. Pino Colada looking to secure a kill here. As Dedes coming up with Blaze is actually going to be doing too much damage for Sandy to escape. Sandy's going to get picked up in that top lane, and we have now reached the late stages of this game. It's 14-10 as far as kills go in favor of TrippleWheat, and there is a decent solar lead right now in favor of TrippleWheat. That's about, what, 800 solar lead compared to Raylan, as compared to the lower member being Genji and Penny on NitroGlitterin. NitroGlitterin really needs to focus on landing and timing and just being coordinated at this point.
Their comp really requires them to do something together. They have almost no individual upgrades, quote-unquote, which I think is what's, you know, keeping them down.
Indeed, he's being a nice distraction there as he's going to get picked up, and that's going to allow some more base damage to come out on Pino and Nebula's part, as we're now seeing this core down to less than half, just from one push from TrippleWheat.
Oh man, I think they can do this fairly quickly if they land that one hammer and get the snipe comp in. You know,
well, a double kill right here in favor of NitroGlitterin can easily change it. That's 2 turrets that can easily be taken down.
You are absolutely right. That just requires them to, you know, really focus on one turret at a time and don't go for the split push. I think that. Oh wait, the droids are the droids.
And actually, the explode getting a nice hit. But wait, the droids.
Look at the base.
The droids on the base. NitroGlitterin looking for that kill, but the droids are on the base, and the droids are gonna take it.
Oh, that is sneaky. That is, you know, if you know that they're droids attacking and you can keep the enemy distracted, then dying is absolutely fine, because they had a super droid at base. I mean, that is not something you run away from. Dangerous strats there.
Super droid on base, but as we saw before, we saw NitroGlitterin looking to secure that kill, but just wasn't being aware of the droids that were on that base there. They did manage to pick up Nebula, but TrippleWheat had a very nice push, and they were not able to counteract that. But just goes to show, you know, you need to be very aware when you're playing these teams like this. Just know what kind of pushes are being out there and know where droids are on the map, because before you know it, a turret can be taken, or even your core in this situation could have been taken. Yeah. But we saw that kind of mini comeback coming back for NitroGlitterin as they proceeded to pick up those kills, and they may not have been as bursty as a comp as TrippleWheat had, that being the Coco and Raylan hitting the snipe and ball simultaneously. But we saw those kind of chases coming out from Sandy, and Sandy being a very good Penny, using the mobility to her advantage, or his advantage, I should say. But Genji and Clunk needed to time their attacks a little bit more coordinated and land those Genji cocoons. That being said, Nata, what time is it?
Oh, is it time for the thing?
It is time for the thing. What is the thing, Nata?
Oh, it's mechanic and made of ice cream, and you can get one.
And how do they get one?
Well, you go to the Twitters, and you will have found a tweet made by Ronimo Games, and you have to retweet that, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a Robo Scoop. You know, that one everyone wants.
All they have to do is retweet a tweet coming out from Ronimo Games, and they will be entered to win, correct?
Yeah, the tweet is regarding RoboScoop, if I am not informed too badly, but you will know which one it is, I can assure you. You will know.
That being said, we will be right back with our second game of the day. I do believe it's Lag versus Last Moment. Correct. Which is going to be the round of 32. That being said, we will take a short break and be right back.